Okay, I'm just going to go live a little early just to make sure everything is working since we're starting Facebook Live for the first time. Let's see. Okay, cool. So that's working. And now let's go to the event. Okay, the event looks live too. Oh, interesting. I've never seen this before. Okay. So I'm just going to hang out until the class starts in about 10 minutes. So maybe everyone could get situated, logged in, install your Chrome extension, make sure you have a clean Chrome extension, things like that. How do I see comments? Okay, so there's 2 viewers, so I'll see comments here. Okay, so in order to comment on the video, you now need to go to the Facebook event. There's a link to the Facebook event right here on cheatlayer.com/bootcamp. So I'm thinking that maybe between steps, we can just switch over to Facebook and make sure to keep one of them muted. Hopefully everyone can hear me. Can anyone hear me? Okay. Yeah, people are starting to trickle in now. So, and the event is live. Let me see if I can share this. Does it have a post ID? Yeah, let's try sharing this on the Facebook group. So we'll still have access to AirMeet after the event. I guess it doesn't let me share exactly. Okay. Or even now if you want to, and you can meet with users. We realized in the last class that it was really hard to see the video because AirMeet had a big backdrop and it was only allowing 720p, but this is now 1080p, so it should be much higher resolution. I'm noticing there's maybe a slightly larger delay, so maybe AirMeet is more tuned towards live interaction and things like that, but yeah, even in the low latency mode, maybe Facebook is more robust at higher resolution globally. Okay. I wonder if I can check comments on my phone while we're doing this. Alright, if you're joining us now, we're just making sure everything is set up, everyone can see the live stream. Make sure you get to cheatlayer.com/bootcamp and check that you can access the live Facebook stream. It should be much easier and higher resolution this time. Maybe you can't see my face because it's a little cut off. Oh, I see. Interesting. I wonder if we can change that. Oh, you can. Okay, yeah. It does let you scroll down if you click inside it. And I'm going to focus on the bottom half. Yep. So we have a new design. You can now click through the classes and it'll bring you back to the videos. Hopefully this brings me back. Yeah, there we go. Let's check how we're doing. Oh, it was a hard journey to get here. Okay, cool. You can hear us. Okay, good. Yeah, so I think what we're going to do is, so the caveat, the downside, we got a lot of feedback from the first class. So there is low resolution, so AirMeet only allows 720p. So when I rewatched the video, I noticed it was like hard to read things. And also, they have a backdrop, so we get less pixels to start out with anyway. So we're going to try and switch to either YouTube Live or Facebook Live. And on our website, we're going to implement our own comment system, so you don't need to switch back and forth between another website or comment system and things like that. It's very easy to do live comments. That's not hard. And then maybe even we can make our own version of AirMeet that allows you to watch with your team, like a watch party with their videos like in the side maybe. That's pretty actually very easy to do using WebRTC and P2P video. 10-20 second delay. Yeah, I'm okay with that since it's high resolution, and it probably works globally pretty robustly. We had a lot of users having trouble connecting to AirMeet before, but it seems to like instantly work. Also, I think YouTube might be a good thing to test next class. I have a 4K camera, but I don't know what I'm going to use it for because we're sharing the screen mostly. So let's just give people like a few more minutes to start. Can trickle in. Let's see. Oh, interesting, Melon. Isn't the only thing... I thought the only selling point of Melon was like it's in your browser and there's not much... like a professional aspect to it. Yeah. Oh, wait, good. Thanks for reminding me. Let me check. Yeah, we're recording it. Okay. We'll start in 3 minutes. Looks like this time no one really has much issues connecting, right? So it seems to work. So what I'm going to recommend doing is keeping cheatlayer.com/bootcamp open in one tab and the event page. I don't even know where you guys are commenting right now, but wherever that is, in another tab. And then we can switch back, like in between steps, I'll switch back and it'll be obvious when we're like reading comments and stuff. So you don't have to like be there commenting and no one's reading it. Just make sure I'm installed. Yeah. Maybe I'll go through a quick basic setup. So if you've never heard of us before and you're completely new, just make sure to sign up at cheatlayer.com. Log in at the bottom here. And then there'll be a link to install the Chrome extension here. You'll need to do this for this class because we're like an interactive class. And then after you install it, it'll pop you back to this website. And then you can click on Bootcamp in the top navigation to get to where the class starts. And then we have a new design for the bootcamp based on our feedback from our first class. This should be easier to use, hopefully. But basically, there's a table at the bottom. You can go back to the last class if you want to, but click Start next to Class 2 for conditional logic, and that'll bring us into the live class. Okay. Oh, interesting. I see. Yeah. Maybe we'll try Melon one of these classes. Has anyone tried YouTube Live? I was gonna try that next, actually. What are community standards? I don't know. Okay. All right, we're gonna start now. So let's start the slideshow. Okay. In each class, we're just going to go over the team project from the last class and catch everyone up. Maybe some people are joining us for the first time here. In the first class, we went over a basic building block for all automations, which is variables. Variables allow you to save data into named containers. It's very similar to the variable concept in mathematics, except variables in JavaScript allow you to store anything, including text, images, or even the whole website. The last team project, we tried to make it actually a little even easier than the instructions. You could have run the last team project on any website technically, and you could have even hovered over any element on any website, but the important part was to make sure to edit your team name in quotes. So I'm just going to go over the solution real quick here. You do need this webhook, so I'm going to copy this. And then let's just refresh this page. Okay. So you could have hovered over really anything on the page and then clicked Add to Cheat. Make sure to click CSS Selector. Most often, we're probably going to default to CSS Selector soon because it's most successful in finding your elements. And then click Send to Webhook. And then so this is the important part. You have to click this no code module and then go over here, paste in the URL, and then here we needed to edit and enter our team. Okay, and then as soon as you run that, that would also send you an email and update your team. I'm going to run it now, sure. And then you can verify it worked by refreshing the Bootcamp page. It says your team is, my team was Nala before, but you can see that it also updates the time. So the last time you submit will be your new submit time. And this is how we're scoring teams for the first project. So we're also going to make the first project a little bit easy, just because people are getting used to the system and it's more time-based. But in future projects, they might be harder. They'll probably be weighted more than this project. So in this project, it was actually weighted based on how fast you submitted to the webhook. And maybe in future projects, we're going to make it dependent on how much data you send or how accurate the data is, things like that. If you look, we have a leaderboard now. So let me go to slideshow mode. These are the teams that submitted fastest. Congratulations to LTDAA and Chicago Cheaters and Cheat Slayers, Taming Code to Harness the Internet. There's some funny names in here. I like Cheat Lawyers. That's funny. Yeah, those are pretty cool. And these guys are just kissing up Rowan's Warriors. Anyways, the top 10 teams will win money. So it's like 1/3 the class is probably going to win something. So there's a very good chance to win money. The number one team will win $5,000 to actually launch a legitimate white label product. And in the last class, we're going to go over tips and tricks to launching on AppSumo. Basically everything I've learned personally, why I think AppSumo is a good platform to get early users for your product. They basically solve that problem. They also do you get a lot of other benefits in AppSumo. We'll go over that in the last class. We'll also go over how to set up and accept AppSumo codes for your white labels and even subscriptions from Stripe. Okay, how do I go back? Okay, yeah. So that was how you do the team project. You can actually still join. We're going to just leave signups open. I don't think there's any reason to close signups now, but it's just going to be harder to win. Yeah, you can still form teams and stuff. It's just going to be harder to win. I mean, we'll figure out what the materials are for the later classes. I don't think that's going to be very hard. So this is also the first time we're doing this class, so we might change things around on you in the first time, but I appreciate you guys giving me all this feedback. We got a lot of good feedback on the first class. For example, that's why we have Facebook Live now. Hopefully this is higher resolution. The other issue was AirMeet kind of had a backdrop that took a lot of pixels out of it that we wasted, and you can still use AirMeet if you want. There's a link to AirMeet up above. In fact, we should go there after class if anyone needs help for office hours on any steps in the class, or to organize your teams and things like that. Okay, and then so this class we go over conditional logic. And so in the first class we went over variables. Conditional logic is basically a way to control the flow of your process or automation based on some other input. And then conditional logic in JavaScript has three main forms. You can use the if else, or the if else if. And in JavaScript, the input for the conditional logic is always a Boolean statement. And a Boolean statement basically just means true or false. So it's any statement or mathematical expression that you can evaluate to true or false. So for example, if you have an index that's called kk and you're incrementing it in a loop, or you're adding 1 to kk, you can make the automation stop when kk hits 10, or for example when you've hit the 10th link in the page. Or if kk is less than 10, that's also another Boolean test. So you can make it maybe only scrape the first 10 links on the page, for example. Or you can check if variables include certain words. And so if statements basically only run if that Boolean statement, that Boolean test is true. And then the if else part only runs if the Boolean is false. So you can kind of use this to control the flow of your automations. So maybe only scrape if you see new data, for example, or only scrape if you see particular data. Sometimes websites obfuscate code or are badly designed, and this is why conditional logic is really powerful, because if you're a developer, you can kind of just hack your way through and code your way and find things using anything you can imagine. And conditional logic is one of those building blocks that gives you many paths to targeting elements. So in maybe other no-code tools, in websites like Facebook or Instagram, or that make it hard to automate because they obfuscate their code, or they update very often maybe, you can use conditional logic to make your automations future-proof and make it even easier to automate maybe in only a few sentences by, for example, looking at the inner contents of buttons, right? So they might be updating the follow button code very often, every time maybe they update the website, but the follow button text is always a button with the word follow in it exactly. So you can use like a conditional statement that looks for all the buttons on the page that includes follow and click them. And so that would be future proof. And it's something that you might not be able to do using like no code tools that use like CSS selectors or XPath, or they have to use the code basically to get to targeting elements. So this kind of gives you an example of one of the ways GPT-3 is a path to custom automations that you wouldn't normally be able to build using no-code tools, because they're just enabling a subset of the space really well and making it really easy, yes, but they can't predict every single design. So this kind of opens up your tool set and solution space to whatever you can imagine, basically. So let's go over some examples. Before I start, let's just check how we're doing. Part of number 4. Oh, sorry. My face is covering part of number 4. The slides are available there's a link on the page, Bootcamp here. You can get the slides, like you can open it in a new tab if you want to and check it out later. But I basically explained all of number 4. Maybe I can move my video. It's okay. We're done with the slides for now. Any other issues? I think last time we had like... Can we get the slices? What is slices? Oh, no, we don't need Pabbly for all projects. It's just after the last class, some users needed help setting up Pabbly and they came to office hours, and a lot of people missed that, I think. And so I'm just going to go over it again. We can go over Integrately in the next class. That's not a problem. Actually, Integrately now has direct cheat layer integrations. Maybe I can show that. Integrately. There we go. Maybe we can plug Integrately for a bit. It's actually sending. So anytime you have an automation, you can click send to webhook and then trigger these things in Integrately. But we also showed them how to use cheat layer as an endpoint, because you can actually trigger automations directly in your extension, which is pretty cool. That's going to enable a lot of cool functionality soon. And so very soon you may be able to do that. Yeah, let's try Integrately maybe next class. Okay. But I don't think we lost anyone. So far, everyone is still here. Oh, thanks. Thanks for sharing the... Okay, slices of pizza. Oh, I see. Slides. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So KK... Actually, we're going to go over what KK means in the class. In the slides, they're just kind of like an introduction to the class. But basically, KK is an index variable. And... you can use whatever. You don't have to use KK. You can use K. It's just kind of like a habit to use KK. I'll explain what we'll actually use a KK index variable. You can call it whatever you want. You can call it index if you wanted. Yeah. And then actually that's even better practice. You should call it index in coding. But a lot of programmers do this. Okay. So let's move on to the class. I think we haven't lost many people, and we have... last time we were losing people, so that's good. At least we're improving a little bit. Yeah, conditional logic, yeah. So, yeah, it's basically conditional... a Boolean statement is any kind of like mathematical expression. So this checks if KK is equal to 10. This checks if KK is less than 10. And this checks if table actually includes the text cheat. And so it can be any one of these. And you can put that into here in the Boolean, and it'll kind of work like this. But we're actually going to go over this now. So what I would do next is go over to cheatlayer.com/bootcamp. Are we doing? Oh, we're doing much better now. And scroll to the bottom and click Start next to Conditional Logic. And I think it's much easier that it like auto starts the video now. This one's... we're not losing many people, but the problem is we don't have a chat. So what I'm thinking, maybe for the next class we can like embed our own live chat here or something. Okay, anyways, so in this first step we go over how to do conditional logic in GPT-3. So basically in our first class, if you might remember, we saved a variable for the body text of a website. And we were able to print out the body inner text of the website, and we could have scraped that anywhere if we wanted to as well. Hold on. I gotta go grab my dog. He's gonna jump. Sorry. Got you, buddy. Okay. There you go. He's a baby. Okay. So in this class, we're actually going to use that same variable in a conditional statement. So in order to do this, let's copy in 1A, if you scroll down a little bit, this quote that says, save the body inner text and as a variable called test. This is actually the same thing we did in the first class. So copy that quote and then go to the code layer here by clicking code in the bottom right hand corner. If you need to open cheat layer, you can pin it and then click the icon here to open cheat layer. And these three buttons let you navigate through the three layers. So we can go to the code layer, click File, generate code, GPT-3 code generator, and then paste this in here. Okay, this is the same variable that we generated in the first class, actually. Hold on a second. Oops. Make sure you have any other tabs closed as well that have cheat layer open. Okay, cool. Sorry about that. What just happened there is I had another tab open, so it was actually taking the code there. So after you click generate and you don't have any other cheat layer tabs open, it should generate the same variable that we did from the first class. And then we want to go back to the website layer. And my head might be cut off, but I guess it's okay. Oh, well, you can, I think you can click in here. And yeah, if you click play, it scrolls down a little bit. Okay. And then you gotta go back to step 1B. Okay. So now we want to copy in 1B the next quote. Open the code layer by clicking the button in the bottom right hand corner. Click File in the top left corner. Click GPT-3 Code Generator. And then replace this. We can delete this and paste in the new quote. So this says, if the variable test contains cheat layer, send it to Google Sheets. Else pop up an alert failed. And so you can see that we're actually using the same if-else pattern. The Boolean here is if the variable test contains cheat layer, but we're not using code or Boolean standard logical expressions. We're just using natural language. And GPT-3 can translate between that and conditional logic. And we even have an else back here. So the else only executes if the Boolean condition is false. So now we can click generate. Okay. So in the last class, we showed you how to connect to Pabbly. You can use Integrately or anything. We just like, it kind of saves a little time right now to use Pabbly, so that's why we're using Pabbly. And I'm going to go over finishing that in this step, maybe going directly to Google Sheets. So what I would do in this at this point is open up Pabbly in a new tab. You might have to sign up for the free trial or log in, so we're going to give people a few minutes to do that. You can now also even run cheat layer on Pabbly. That was a restriction before. It was on our malicious websites list for some reason. I don't remember why, but it's back off of it. Okay. So let's go back to the questions and see if we lost anyone. Oh, GPT-3 uses Pabbly by default. Well, it uses our GPT-3 uses our send Ajax function by default, and so you could use any default function. My GPT-3 uses Pabbly by default because I set it up in as my default webhook. Cool. So I think my Google account is blocking G. Oh, if you get this blocking message, Dennis Williams, how do I put this? I think we can put this on the chat, right? Or the publish to graphics. Does that work? Does that do anything? I can't tell. Oh, there it is. Hey, it worked. I set it up. Okay, so if you get this blocked message when using the direct Google Sheets integrations, it's because Google hasn't approved our API access yet. They're still approving, and it's kind of crazy. I'm going a little insane because like a few emails ago, they asked me to remove the scopes for Google Calendar, right? And I removed it just to comply with them. And then now they're asking me, in the last email, they asked me to add the scopes back for Google Calendar. And so it seems like I don't know. They're like messing with me, or I'm not talking to a real person, or it's kind of insane. And so we're now on email like 36 or something, doing the same repeating thing with Google. So I hope we finish soon. But when we finish, all users will get to send unlimited data to Google Sheets. I guess in the worst case, we could let you bring your own API key if they never let us, or if we're like, it's like some kind of Twilight Zone email thread. I should publish it someday. It's weird. Anyways, okay. So hopefully by now everyone has signed into Pabbly. Yeah, you can still. So we're not releasing the. How do I minimize the message? Oh crap! I have no idea. How do I? Oh wait, I know. Hold on. There we go. Sorry, guys. Yeah, if you're not able to make the live classes, it's okay because we're not releasing the team project until tomorrow. Many users are not. Where do you copy text from? Oh, cheatlayer.com/bootcamp. So if you log into cheatlayer.com/bootcamp and then scroll down to the bottom, you have to click start next to class 2. And then when you do that, you'll get this stuff. And we're in step 1B basically. Okay. All right. I'm going to assume everyone has set up Pabbly by now. Let's go back to the code. Do I still have it? Oh, okay, no. Hold on. I got to generate this last one again. Cool. All right. Now I'm going to, in Pabbly, we're going to just move a little ahead. If anyone gets lost, we'll be at office hours in the AirMeet link after class to help anyone. I think Damien might be there as well. Okay. So in Pabbly, you want to click Create Workflow. And then the first step is always Webhook. So on the dashboard, after you log into Pabbly, click Create Workflow. And the first step, when you get to this page, is always Webhook. Then you want to always click Copy. It's similar to Integrately and Zapier as well. But we had a lot of users asking how to set up Pabbly after the last class, so I figured we'd go through the whole setup this time. And then we want to go back to the automation. If you use our no-code tools, there's actually a no-code parameter menu that pops up on the right-hand side where you can enter these things. But if you use GPT-3 for now, I think in the future we'll actually be able to generate like a no-code module for custom code. But for now, you have to edit the code like this. Okay. And once you paste in that webhook, click File, Run. Go back to Pabbly. And it's got the data. Okay. So what happened here was it only sent the data because this page includes the word cheat layer. And that's even cheating actually, because that means the whole page includes cheat layer. But it would have failed and popped up an alert called failed if this was false for some reason, right? So we can actually delete all this and put false here and see what happens, and see how it pops up the alert called failed. So if that statement had evaluated to false, if there was no cheat layer in our variable test, which is really just the body from our first class, then it would have popped up an alert. But it didn't, so we get to scrape the data. So you can see how you can use variables like this to only scrape data conditionally based on the content. That's going to maybe come in handy in our team project this week, or other conditional variables. So okay, let's actually even continue finishing this real quick. So if we wanted to scrape this data somewhere, we could, this is actually the entire body text. Let's say Google Sheets. add your row, and then connect. And then at this point, you want to open Google Sheets in a new tab. The important part with setting up Pabbly, this messes up a lot of people, is that you need column names. That's really the only thing you need, actually. And it doesn't update the column name until you click outside the cell. That's one of the quirks in Google Sheets. And then, so once you have a column name in your Google Sheet in a new tab, you can go to sheets.google.com in a new tab to get to a Google Sheet. Open up a new Google Sheet. You don't really even need the name. What's important is the column name here. Now we can go back to Pabbly. Make sure you connect to the same account that we set up in Google Sheets. And it might take people a little bit of time in different services, so I'll try to go slow. So what you want to do is, it should actually automatically select what your sheet and stuff is, but maybe you might have to select this. If it doesn't show body here, you might have to press refresh here, this small little button here. That's sometimes a big thing. And then if it does show body here, click into the input box under body, and then click webhook capture webhook. And that will show us the data that we sent earlier. And then we can click that. And now to get out of that menu, you have to click to the right or left somewhere. This is one of the quirks in Pabbly. So if you clicked in there, it kind of hides what you have to do next. You got to click outside. All right, so we don't have to do any more mapping. But if there was some other column here, like text or whatever, Pabbly does allow you to do that. And that was really the point of showing you that step in the first class, because Pabbly saves you a lot of time for that. But maybe the other services just need to be informed that it's possible or something. So I heard someone was telling Integrately to do it too. Maybe they'll have it soon. All right, and then yeah, and it sends both data. All right, so that's how you map data into a Google Sheet from Pabbly. Let's go back to cheatlayer.com/bootcamp and continue. We'll go back to the website layer to get back to the steps, and that was step 1. Okay, so that was a very simple conditional statement. It uses if-else. You can basically use conditional statements on anything in the website. It's up to your imagination. You'll get better at figuring out these examples. We're going to show you some complex examples. In class, I think 6, we're going to go into the real world and build automations that wouldn't be possible using no-code tools in a few sentences. And then you'll really understand how it's possible to build complex automations in just a few sentences. For example, that Facebook group ID scraper was really only 3 sentences, and 2 of them was to do the infinite scroller. But for now, we'll keep it simple. In step 2, we're going to show you another cool trick called indexes. And this is what I was referring to before. KK is an index. Traditionally, it doesn't have to be. But in loops, we use KK as an index. And you can save this variable and increment it and stop at a particular index in the list. So for example, if you have all the links on the page and the website is either obfuscating them or it's designed poorly and they all have the same ID or class or something, and it's really hard to pick out a specific input value on the page or an input form or link or something, you can use index to just take all the links and then just get your exact one on the page you want. So let's try this. This is one trick you can use. So let's copy this quote, collect all the links on the page, loop through them, and run a script called screenshot on the link href when the index equals 5. Href is the destination of a link. We can actually probably train GPT-3 that you don't need to use that, but we're going to make explicit this time. So to run this, go to the code layer by clicking code in the bottom right hand corner. And then we're going to go to File, New to get rid of the last step. And then File, GPT-3 Code Generator. And this is the GPT-3 interface. You can just paste it in there. And click generate. Okay, now you can see I've installed Screenshot many times because I've tested this a lot, so I don't need to, but everyone else might. I don't know. You kind of do this in the onboarding. If you already installed Screenshot, you don't need to do this, so hang tight. But for completely new users, you need to install. I mean, you don't need to. You can do this later if you want, but you need to right-click on cheat codes here and click Open in New Tab. You can also go there and come back, but then you can't hear what I'm saying. Alright, when you get to this new tab, click Screenshot. Cheat codes are our library of pre-built automations. There's some pretty cool ones here, like a blog generator and Canva automator. But for now, we're going to click Screenshot, which is in the third row, second option. And each of these has a YouTube video that shows you how to run them. Some of them require inputs like a Google Sheet. Some of them just require running them, things like that. To install any one of them, just click Run on Cheat Layer, and then it'll add it to your cheat list immediately. And then what you want to do is come back here. I guess we'll generate that again. Go to File, GPT-3 Code Generator. Paste in that code again, if you have to. I might have refreshed the page accidentally, sorry. Paste in that quote that we copied, which, if you get lost, like I just did, is in step 2, section A. Okay. Go to Code Layer, File, GPT-3 Code Generator, and then paste it in here, generate. Now we actually have the Screenshot cheat code installed. I should change the order of those steps. And then now we've generated the correct code. So we can hit Control R or File Run to execute this, whatever you're comfortable with it now. And what that's going to do is open our billing page and take a screenshot of it. Yeah. Very simple. But the idea is that we didn't write the code for the screenshot automation, and we just generated this using a phrase in conditional logic and a counter. You don't have to understand how the code works, but GPT-3 stopped at the 5th one and opened a link called Screenshot. Open a link on the 5th link, which is our billing page, and ran a script called Screenshot. Sorry. Okay. So we can go back to website layer. Okay. Okay. So now we're going to go over a complex targeting using GPT-3. And actually, when we first started, early users might remember that this no-code interface originally actually generated GPT-3 prompts. It didn't generate code instantly. In the beginning, everything in Cheat Layer was GPT-3. And we did that because actually we launched as a minimum viable product. And I recommend doing this as a startup for your white labels because it's beneficial as a startup to treat it as a scientific endeavor. So you should get to the point where you're testing this theory that your product is profitable with the least amount of work that you need to do. Because what you'll find is some founders will never launch or take years to launch something until they maybe even figure out that the customer doesn't want it. It's much easier to figure out if people actually want your product or what part of your product that they want, and it's very hard for one person to predict what a mass market will want. So in order to do that, you need statistical significance, really. And in order to do that well, you need to get into this mindset of being able to scientifically test it. And so we launched, and we kind of did well. I mean, sometimes this can go badly, and CheatLayer might not have been useful. But we launched CheatLayer as a minimum viable product with a very bare bones UI, because we knew what we were building was a valuable product. And so we didn't really advertise in the beginning, but power users found us because they have burning problems, like impossible automations that you couldn't build using other no-code tools. And we personally met with all the first users to make sure that we solved their problem and show them how to do it using GPT-3. In the beginning, all of these functions, instead of instantly generating code, and this is kind of my point, that I was long path to the point, actually generated GPT-3 phrases. So GPT-3 can do all of this plus more, basically. So it's the no-code sub tools are a subset of what GPT-3 can do, and I'm just going to show you how to generate any one of these basically using GPT-3 instead. So if you did, for example, like click here and looked over, if you click on these modules, it'll create this no-code parameter menu. If you look at the options here, you can actually use these to inform what to ask GPT-3 to generate the exact same code. So let's basically go over like an example of that. Let me clear this. Actually. So this is an example of one of the phrases we would have used when we first launched CheatLayer, and it had no code interface. So in step 3A, copy this quote, collect all the links on the page. Well, actually, hold on. Yeah, slowly collect all the links on the page with a class that includes Bootcamp class 2 and run a script called screenshot on them. Okay, and then go to the code layer and you can do file new if you haven't done that yet. And go to file GPT-3 code generator. And then paste this in. So what we're doing here is, let me dissect this statement a little bit. So slowly is actually a example of something that we've taught GPT-3 to understand. In our last class, I mentioned that we're solving, so GPT-3 can generate everything that's possible, but if you don't understand the jargon or you're not a software developer, you can't yet generate everything that's possible. So we're solving that from two directions. We're teaching users what to ask in classes just like this, and our live onboarding call. And we're teaching GPT-3 with examples of what users ask plus working code. So over time, GPT-3 learns to also meet users at their level of understanding. So this is actually one example of something we taught GPT-3, and it didn't exist when we first launched CheatLayer. So actually, when we first launched CheatLayer and we were doing these office hours, we would generate things in the browser, and we would need to add our own delay. We now have given it enough examples that GPT-3 will add the delay for you. Next, what we're doing is getting all the links on the page and adding a conditional and only including the links with a class that include Bootcamp class 2 to run a script called screenshot on them. So GPT-3, you'll notice that there's no if or else in this sentence, right? But GPT-3 understands natural language and can translate your words and language into actual conditional statements. Because this is a conditional statement. We're implicitly only looking for the links on the page with a class and has Bootcamp class 2. We just didn't explicitly use conditional logic or Boolean statements, things like that. So now I click generate. Okay, so let's just check on how everyone is doing. Next teamwork. Yes, actually, I will send. Yeah, 6th link. Yeah. All right, I should mention that. Okay, so in JavaScript, everything starts at at 0 in the index 0, but we're using yeah. Okay. Yeah, actually I will send a video showing how to do the team homework, just like we did with the last team homework. We'll post it to YouTube and things like that. Yeah. Hold on. When I don't see the information was populated. Oh, Pably. Oh, come to the office hours after class. Why did I get? Oh, I think because I ran it 4 times accidentally because I did like file run and control R and things like that. Yeah. Common classes between the so you can use the no code interface to inform you how to select classes and things. So if you open cheat layer on any website and you click let's find actually one that has a class. Add to cheat. The first selector is attributes, and that will show you whatever class anything has. So you can kind of use this to inform you what to ask GPT-3 actually. What I was doing before was like I was also clicking print to console to show me this parameter menu. So the inner text is another trick you can use. Like we used the inner text in the last step. We checked for the inner text of the body, and we checked if it included cheat layer. Or any other attribute. You can also ask GPT-3 here. It does technically also understand CSS selector and XPath. And so you can use the no-code interface basically to inform you what to ask. If you click the module, it highlights what you're automating. So you can kind of see it's going to scrape all these 3 things by default, these classes. And in the team project, we're going to do a slightly more advanced version of this basically, where we ask you to scrape something, but we ask you to add one more conditional operator basically to scrape things that only include something specific, things like that. Let's go check questions. Yeah, let me just make sure I got everything. Yeah, it does look that that's something we might have trained into our prompt. Index 0. It should equal 4, so we can probably just fix that. Let's see. So in JavaScript, 0 counts as 1. Column heading. It doesn't let me go to previous replies. Does not populate from Pably. Yeah, we can go over the Pably setup again. Let me just check. So if you got to this step and you see the data is populated under body text and stuff like that, click save and send test request. And that should send it. If you didn't get to this point where it shows you like the body, the column names, then that might be an issue too. So the most common issue in Pably is that you need actual column names here, and it needs to be showing up here. Okay, I think that's everything. Oh, when indenting will go. Yeah, I think we tried to reduce our spaces. So when we're using the GPT-3 API from OpenAI, every character counts as like a credit. So I think we try to reduce spaces as much as possible. But we could just auto format. We could add like a beautifier after the fact. Yeah, I did run it multiple times. Yeah. Oh, yours down. Oh, okay. If you hit Control R, that can happen. Yes, that's what it should do. 6 length. Okay, I think that's all the questions. Cool. Yeah, slowly is a cool feature. Yeah. So, I mean, anything that our users ask, and you can imagine in our marketplace, as users ask everything that's possible in the browser, over time, then when the next user asks the same thing, GPT-3 will just generate the working code. So that's one reason we're incentivizing using the marketplace. All users get $50 to get something simple built. The slow function doesn't yet do a random number of seconds, but we can easily train GPT-3 to do that. So right now, it's I think 5 seconds by default, and we can change that. Chrome debugging API. Oh, if you have trouble with the Chrome debugging API, let's come to office hours after class. Click the AirMeet link. Let me explain what office hours is. So, if you get stuck, there's this thing called AirMeet. Let me open this in a new tab. Yeah, I just joined without camera. Okay, and then you can join these tables. Looks like there's some people here already. And you can, Damien and I might be at one of these tables for a while, and we'll walk you through. We're not ready for that yet. We actually still have to finish a step. I just forgot to check on questions, so I'm going back. But after the class, we can meet at the tables. We'll go over any step, any Pabbly setup, or any issues that anyone had. Yeah, the key press module. The thing about the key press module, I would make sure you have the latest version, 13.4.1 or 2, and you're using Chrome is updated, and you have a clean Chrome profile, because sometimes some other extensions we noticed did actually prevent it because they take focus. And one important thing about that is you need to we like simulate adding focus, like clicking into the input box and things like that. Okay, so maybe let me just finish this step. Oh, did we answer all the questions? Let's check. Oh, that worked. Okay, cool. Step 3, open Google Sheets, but not copy anything. It should save. Oh, it should take a screenshot, but you need the screenshot. Oh, it works now. Cool. You need the screenshot cheat code installed. So if it's not installed, it won't save anything. Yeah. Yeah, like a linter. Okay, Google Sheets is working. This is the second team project. The first team project actually was already scored. You can see the top teams. We posted it on our Facebook group. You can still join. I mean, I think anyone in the list still has a chance to win, because we're not going to heavily weight this first project. I understand the next few projects will probably be much harder. So I think we got through all the questions. Oh, yeah. We made this one much smaller because last time we went through... well, we didn't do the last step yet. Let me finish the last step. Hold on. Did I? Oh, well, I guess you have to run it. You just have to run it. So, okay. So, copy this quote. Just step A. And all the links on the page that include Bootcamp Class 2 are actually just these links. So, go to the code layer. Generate GPT code. I explained all this already. Click generate. And then I should have hit file new before that, sorry. And then all you have to do is file run. I don't think I just did this step, but let me just do it again. Okay. So all this is going to do is going to open those links on the page that had the class Bootcamp class 2. We went on a tangent to explain where you might find classes and things. I never actually ran this, I think, so let's just make sure we ran it. Okay. So, right. Let's go back. Okay. So what we did was, it was an implicit conditional statement. We didn't actually ask, we didn't say if or else, but GPT-3 implicitly understood what we were doing because we gave it enough examples. It even did something complex like adding delays here. These delays aren't random yet, but we could easily make it like an example in the thing. And the conditional statement that it came up with was to look for only elements that have this particular class. So it filled in the if stuff for us, basically. So over time, you know, you can ask increasingly to complex automations, like, I don't know, build a Amazon scraper, just very simple or something, right? And then it will be able to generate more and more code for you, more conditional statements, things like that. This is a very simple introduction to conditional statements, but you can start to understand how you can piece together now variables and conditional statements to basically find endless paths to the same elements, or the same target the same elements. And this enables you to do things that you can't solve, you can't get to maybe in other no-code tools. For example, we can maybe go over a live example. Let's go to our Facebook group members. And then open cheat layer and go to code. And then I'm gonna click generate code, and then I'm gonna write a function that scrolls to the bottom of the page. And this isn't anywhere that you can copy. I'm just adding this because we seem to have more time left over. So just click generate. Okay. And then in another sentence, I'm going to write run the function scroll on an interval every 10 seconds. You can see that I could actually have said this multiple different ways, that I've done this before. Because GPT-3 extrapolates and understands the language. Okay. So now let's maybe go to the no-code layer so we can see what we're doing, and hit file run. And you can see how it just jumped down, but maybe in 10 seconds it's going to do something more interesting. Okay, so it scrolled again. Okay, so this built an infinite scroller in 2 sentences, but the point is that this isn't something like building an infinite scroller is not something you can do in other tools. Now what you can do is conditionally scrape the links on the page. So let's say so in this example, collect all the links on the page that include user / and send them to Google Sheets. So this is also another implicit conditional statement, and GPT-3 is just going to add the if, else, stuff like that for us. Okay. And yeah, and so maybe I can use this Pabbly webhook again. Just save time. just check that it is actually user slash. I think it is. Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. Go back, and now let's run this. You can see it's actually, the infinite scroller is still running. But this is only 3 sentences so far. So far, we've only written 3 GPT-3 sentences. So the first 2 built us an infinite scroller. I like how it's running live, actually. I think that's one feature we'll add soon. There's a cool feature someone mentioned, David, I think, to build a recorder to record your actions while you're doing things in the browser and then redo that. That's very easy to do. We can implement that this month, actually. Another cool feature might be to be like a live mode where you can talk to your browser and it'll just start automating things. I thought that would be kind of nifty. But anyways, okay, so let's see. Okay, so see how it scraped the user ID here? So there was one of our, this actually won best use case a few months ago, and the user won full stack white label access for this automation. But we built it almost entirely in 3 GPT-3 sentences. Like, we didn't write all this code, but we knew what to ask. And so that's kind of just to give you a teaser for one of our latest classes. We're going to do things like this. We're going to go out into the real world, and we're going to automate websites that obfuscate or maybe are badly designed, and show you how GPT-3 is your path, the only path in some cases, to automate these websites. And it would be impossible using the other tools. Okay, so that's the last step. We made this class about half as long because we took double as long time next time. So I think this is actually pretty close to the right amount of steps for each class. Maybe like 1 or 2 more steps would do. Or 1 step. We just added an extra step. That was kind of enough time. And then now we have a team project. We have actually a team project every class, a weekly team project. If you don't have a team yet, you can email support@mg.cheatlayer.com. mg.cheatlayer.com. And we can assign you a team. People are still actually looking for teams, and I encourage doing it even if you don't intend to win, because it's a good way to motivate you, because the competition is motivating, but also your teammates can help you and you can learn together. You can meet other users in the group and help each other. Okay, after this class, I'm gonna head over to the air meet now. If anyone needs help on any steps and things like that, feel free to come there, and we can go over Pabbly setup or using the key press, that set input value, things like that. I think someone mentioned they needed help like that. And I think this class went actually much smoother. I like it. We didn't lose as many people, but I think we lost a lot of people in the first class, so it's not that good. Maybe in the next class, we should add like a comment system here so that people don't have to switch back and forth, and maybe even our own air meet. Cool. All right, guys. Let's check the last few questions, and then I'll head over to the air meet. Let's see. Oh yeah, you can still sign up for office hours. Yeah, there's no limit to office hours. Yes, you can turn off the pop-up. Oh yeah. Here, let me show you. If you're getting stuck with this, new users shouldn't have to deal with this because we released an update, but some old users were like between our UI updates, they got stuck with the automated onboarding. So if you get stuck with that, here's how to fix this. So sometimes when you go to this website, it's going to like automatically pop up like an automated onboarding thing that's kind of annoying. So to get rid of that, yeah, this is what'll happen, right? So click in the background. It says skip automated onboarding for now. If you click that button, that'll get rid of it forever. I mean, you have to close these last few things, but yeah, it should be gone after that. All right. Yeah. So skip automated onboarding for now. That stops it. New users don't have to deal with this. Just users who got stuck between our UI updates for the Chrome extension. Let's see. Oh, yeah, you can ask GPT-3 similarly how we did in this step, actually, we checked if it had cheat layer. You can ask it instead of cheat layer, for example, you could say, google.com or something, right? Yeah, so if the variable test contains google.com, send it to Google Sheets. Or create a Google Calendar event. And you'd have to save the body text this way first. You can also save, if you don't want the body text, the other thing you can save is, this is another cool thing. You can get like the scripts, the Java scripts, I think. Yeah, let's try this. The body inner HTML body scripts. Yeah. We helped another user do this. Yeah, that is the body inner HTML. Yeah, so that'll tell you if there's like what scripts they're using and things like that. If they're using a particular library, something like that. Okay, let's answer the next few questions. An API and JSON crash course. Okay, we could do that. Maybe. I guess this is kind of a boot camp on APIs and things like. Yes, you can always keep signing up for onboarding. Office hours. There are now some users on their 10th meeting actually, and it's completely fine because it helps us generate data for training the model, and helps us iterate the product constantly. It's really the best way we've found to find bugs and get feedback. And it was also helping us grow organically in the beginning because we didn't advertise in the beginning. We kind of just left the MVP out there, so people who actually needed the product came to us in the beginning. Hide the side pop-up when trying to add to cheat layer. I'm guessing you mean, let me try and publish some of these questions. There we go. All right. How to hide the pop-up add to cheat layer. I'm guessing you had the same issue the other guy had. You'll need to go back. There'll be like a button that says skip automated onboarding, basically. And you can always click run on cheat layer. That'll install it. And I think if you reinstall, it should stop doing that. Oh no, Google still has to approve that update. Here. Okay, and then any other questions? The function scroller, yeah. Yes, yeah, Facebook can ban you. So that's one thing to note. If you log into websites, this is just like for educational purposes, but if you log into websites, there's no way to hide what you're doing. So if you're trying to mass scrape something, Facebook will instantly know. Don't do that. If you keep things within your daily workflow automation, what you're normally doing, then there shouldn't be any problems. It's really hard to detect scraping itself, but one thing they don't like, and they can easily detect, is like auto liking and auto following and things like that. That'll definitely get you banned or blocked or like warned at least at first. We have some users who are scaling up, like automating on websites that don't allow it normally, but they're okay with losing their account, I guess. So, and we don't condone it. Don't violate the terms of service of websites. This is just like educational purposes. Yeah. Oh, how to stop the automation? So one way is actually like one of those variables that I said. You could use the index to stop, or just refresh the page. That's easy. Another trick to do is ask GPT-3 to refresh the page after like 10 or 20, 30 seconds or something. That kind of gives you like a deadline for your automation. And refreshing the page stops any script on the page, basically. Recording actions would be awesome. Yeah, that is cool. That's very easy to do, too. You can just implement this. Sunday. Yes, this Sunday is when we're releasing the next webhook tutorials at 10 a.m. So we did a poll actually before we started this class. What was the best time to hold these classes? And the two top choices were 2 p.m. and 10 a.m. So we're going to split the difference. We're going to release the team project at 10 a.m. and the class at 2 p.m. I think that makes it fair. Maybe next time we can switch 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Yeah, you can add your own code in the code editor. Yeah. You can actually instantly, if you use the no code editor, here, let me turn off some of this. I don't know how to yet put like a timeout on this, but if you use the no code editor, you can instantly jump into the code editor and start editing code. On this team project, it's going to include a component that's quantity based and accuracy based. And so it's a little bit harder than the first team project. And I think by the end of the class, if you just manage to complete all the team projects, you have a good chance of winning a prize. Because at 1/3 of the team, 1/3 of the class is in the top 10. So, and these are going to get harder, basically. Yeah. Oh yeah, sure. Whoops. Let me delete this. I don't think I actually sent it. Did I? No, I didn't actually send it, but here. Let me do the mapping. So what I'm doing is just showing how the links would have looked in Google Sheets. This was a use case posted on our Facebook group. Here, let me actually publish these questions. Sorry. I should remember to do these. Okay. This was actually one of our best use cases and one full stack ones. So all you need to do is do the mapping in Pabbly. So the mapping, you click under any column name, click webhook, capture webhook, and then links. Then save and send test request. And it sends it here. And I don't know if I'm still running. Oh yeah, probably stopped running a while ago. Let's get the code. Yeah, I'm gonna give up on that. All right, and then the video size 50 for the screen. I wonder what the way. Oh, I guess switching back and forth. Maybe we'll have a poll. I think people didn't like switching back and forth. I don't know. Last time people didn't like how big it was in the screen. So maybe we'll hold a poll and see what we should do for the design next. The table meetings are not recording, but I'll head over there right after I finish. API training. Speed is not a, speed is not a factor in this assignment. You can finish, you're probably gonna, we're gonna have like a deadline for this one. So you're probably gonna keep working on this one. Sidebar pop-up default key from control. Oh yeah, we can change we can give you like a menu to change the hotkeys. Yeah, we could do that. Oh, Control Alt. Oh, I see. Because you accidentally hit Control Alt or something sometimes. Yeah. Let me publish this question. I guess since I'm sharing my screen, you can kind of see what questions I'm asking. Cool. What is Client Finder cheat code? Oh yeah, so this one, basically, it went to Google Maps, and if it didn't have like a website or something, it would send you. Did we launch it yet? I don't think we did. Oh, we did. Okay. It would send you the local listings that don't yet have a website, so you can, like a client finder for SEO agencies or something like that, basically. Yeah. Yeah, you can participate individually. You don't need a team, but I recommend getting a team. Yeah. Oh, resize. I think in my version, you can now resize windows. Let me try. Hold on. But it looks like that's the last question. So we're going to head to... Can resize some things now. Can you resize all things? No. Okay, yeah, we can make all the windows resizable. Yeah. It's possible. We have the technology. Oh yeah, so for logging in, actually most websites, this is kind of the easy way to do it. So what you want to do is, when I ran this scraping example, right? Maybe let's finish this real quick. So when I ran this, I was already logged into Facebook, and what we recommend doing is creating a new Chrome profile like this. So guest add, and then continue without an account, and then call it cheat layer. Okay. And then in this one, you want to log into Facebook. Oops. I don't think I'm gonna be able to easily log in, but once you log into Facebook on this one, it'll store the cookies in this browser. That's a cheat layer dedicated browser that you can leave minimized and automate and schedule and trigger webhooks inside, and it won't interfere with your main browser, is my point basically. And then once it's logged in, the cookies stay there until you revoke them. And so what we recommend doing for most users is just pre-logging into the website, and you don't have to automate logging in the forms and things like that. You can copy the cookies into Cheat Cloud actually, and run the same automations on Cheat Cloud if you copy the cookies. And that way you're not storing your passwords in plain text in the code. And that's what you would. That's not the best practice normally. What you would maybe do is set up like a key server, and then get logged in and things like that. But in this case, it's much easier and secure if you use cookies, because if you lose cookies, it's okay. You can just revoke them, and they automatically get revoked after a delay. Yes, it does. Wait, no. If you run the GPT code multiple times, you can run it as many times as you want. Sorry. Let me publish this question. After you've generated the code, you can run the code unlimited times, and you can also resell it to unlimited clients using white labels, and you can generate as many white labels as you want. Talking about white label, auto login also. Oh yes. So for white label products, we recommend the users log in first, and then whenever they automate in their browser that's already logged in, it will stay logged in. Are you talking about maybe using the key press? Where can you find the hotkeys? Oh, in the onboarding, in the live onboarding. If you scroll down, live onboarding, there's hotkeys here. So Control Enter is a hotkey. In some cases, when you're hovering over things, they might be too small like this. So a trick to that is to hit Control Enter, and then you can get into the no-code interface. Control R is running the script. Control E cycles through the layers. Control S saves the script, and Control Backspace bypasses any layer to get back to the website layer. Okay. Maybe we can do like a login automation. Yeah. Yeah, you can download videos. You can ask, there's a cheat code for downloading images, but you can ask GPT-3, for example, to get all the videos on the page and download them, or get all the images on the page and download them, and it'll download the MP4 if they exist. Also, Oh, I see the file menu. Okay, yeah, we can add hotkeys. We should probably be more accessible. We're not really very accessible. We using cookies for securities. Hotkeys. Same. Oh yeah, if you use the same GPT phrase to generate the code again multiple times, it uses code every time. Yes, it burns the code every time. Yeah. So if you try to regenerate the code, it burns the code every time. Maybe you might want to copy the code, but in reality, most users don't end up, like if we went to our usage graph for GPT-3, most users don't end up using more than 10% of their credits or even repeatedly. So we have like constant no growth in GPT-3 usage. Actually, it doesn't grow at all. And so that's what we're trying to solve with this class. Hopefully after this class, especially after the 5th class where we'll go into the real world, and this was kind of a teaser. This Facebook scraper was a teaser for educational purposes. Definitely don't do it on your accounts to get blocked. But in the 5th class, we'll go into the real world and we'll show you how to generate some more complex automations. Bootcamp website, but it seems messed up. Work. File, generate GPT code. What other websites? There might be some incompatibilities. Let's try like Amazon or something. I don't think in general though. I think it works. It should work on most websites. GPT-3 code generator. Yeah, that seems to work. But if you have any websites that have incompatibilities, please let us know in the live chat at cheatlayer.com. We just updated the UI, so there might be some small bugs. Yeah. Oh, GPT-3 is not free unlimited. Our no-code interface is free unlimited. So we changed things. In the beginning, everything we had in CheatLayer was GPT-3. There was no difference between the no-code interface and GPT-3. But now all these functions are automatically generated without using GPT-3. Just like any other no-code service and tool. Basically, this allows us to rapidly develop the no-code side of things to be on par with any other no-code service or tool. And then you can use GPT-3 as your path to the custom space. Before, we were making users use entirely GPT-3 to even do things like this, which we can do easily and simply in the no-code interface. I mean, it's much more extensible to use entirely GPT-3, and if you're comfortable with that, you can probably you're more likely to use that. But for a lot of users, completely who are non-technical, this is easier to start, and no longer costs any credits, right? Oh, the file option doesn't work. Okay, thanks. I'll check this out. Facebook members. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of like an exciting one because it's only really 3 sentences to generate complex automations. And especially in the 5th class, we're going to go over some real world examples that are you're going to be. The exciting thing is that, we only did them in 3 sentences. And normally even a developer might even take longer to type those things out, and it's only going to get better from here. I expect in like 2 years it'll be maybe 1 or 2 sentences, right? Just build me an Amazon scraper and it'll know what you want. And so there's really nothing preventing GPT-3 from learning all of that. We're using only 2 megabytes now of all the training data that we have access to in OpenAI, and we can fine tune up to 100 megabytes of data. So we're using 2% of what we could do. So I feel like there's a lot of improvement, especially when we get access to codecs. Things will just instantly work much better. And on all languages and in desktop automation, we'll be able to release, generating desktop programs. Oh, actually, we do have this now. If you do generate code and GPT-3, this was a question before, how to see the history of what you've generated. Where's that? Read. You can see that now. Let me publish this question. So after you generate code, you might have noticed this recently, it actually pastes in the comment what you used to generate. So if you save all your scripts, everything that you've used to generate them is also saved in your scripts. So now it's in the comment here. It says what you used to generate it. So you can kind of save credits that way. But yeah, well, let me finish that thought. So what I was saying before is most users don't use most of their credits. So I encourage testing GPT-3 as much as you want, failing, trying and learning, because that's kind of how you get more efficient, as by trial and error. And this class should definitely help you get more efficient. Hopefully a bunch of you guys just built your first completely GPT-3 automation there. Yes, you can. You can edit the code for the no-code generation instantly. That's one of the cool features. So if you can switch between no-code and code, we've designed it in such a way that it's intermingled. And actually, eventually, GPT-3, we have an idea to bring GPT-3 back into the no-code interface. So yeah, if you do add anything here, it'll instantly add the code to your code layer as well. So this was generated by our no-code interface, and then you can edit this. You can use this to inform you what to ask GPT-3, because it kind of tells you what the ID and stuff is, things like that. So you can say, you could formulate your sentence, for example, to get the same thing. You could say, get all the divs on the page with an ID that includes wrapper, and print them. And if I actually just wrote that sentence, it would generate almost the same thing. We have a delay of 1 second, so. Oh, I might have a lot of tabs here. Might have to close some of them. Oh, hold on. I gotta, oops, collect all the links on the page. I'm not sure what's going on there. Something is broken. Let me fix that. Whoops. Oh. Oops. Okay. Let me try. Hold on a second. Add to cheat. And run code on tab. Okay. And code layer. And then let's generate the same code. Okay. 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 So you can see how the no-code interface and GPT-3 can be used to generate basically, I mean, that's identical code. That's exactly the same. There's like spaces missing. And we remove the spaces because OpenAI has like a character limit, so we're trying to save characters. The last thing I was generating didn't work, I guess, because it thought wrapper is like a JavaScript keyword, so you should avoid JavaScript keywords, I guess. So what I would do in those cases, I would use like a dummy class and then put in the right class. Like if their class name is button or link or something, that might confuse it sometimes. So yeah, okay, let's go back. Oh, they're added to cheat codes if the user has if the winner of the monthly competition decides to publish it, they add them to cheat codes. The other way is to get access to automations is the marketplace. People post them publicly here and get $50 to get something built. And so as soon as the solution is posted here, it's also live for anyone else to download, like this one. You can watch what it is before you download it. And all users get $50 in credits to get something out of the marketplace. And the other way is in cheat codes and our Facebook group. They might have posted the code to the Facebook group as well. Yeah. Oh, can't see my face. Sorry. Yeah, let me... I guess... no, I don't know how to move this. Wait. Maybe I can put it up here. Okay. Can you update? Oh, click enter on the keyboard. Okay, yeah. Yeah, we can add that. That's an easy thing. We can add that to... our roadmap.cheatlayer.com. One cool example of how you can get any feature you want built into CheatLayer is David recently posted in our Facebook group to get buy-in, like literally a few days ago, for the recorder, and now we're already working on it because it's now our top voted requested feature. So yeah, any feature you want, just you can go here, click roadmap here, and you can post it here, and check out the recorder post in our Facebook group for a good example of how to get buy-in for basically any feature on CheatLayer. Yeah, you have to click inside the code layer to see it update. So let me publish. So here, if you have trouble seeing the code layer update, when you go to the code layer, you have to click inside and then it'll update. Yeah. I guess this is a quirk of Ace editor. There might be some workaround for this, but we can figure it out. If you see the code not updating, basically you have to click inside the code editor. Yeah, we'll add codecs. Well, we have access to GPT-3 codecs internally, and we expect to add that later this year when OpenAI allows us to. They probably want us to implement more security features, and we still have a long way to go actually to improve even just GPT-3. I think we've done a lot with the prompt, like getting links from Google Sheets and running a new tab. Things like that. That wouldn't have been possible in vanilla GPT-3, and we did a lot of training to be able to use our internal functions for exposing the Chrome API for like opening new tabs and things like that. And so we've gone pretty far. That's actually our defensible moat. The data that we use to build our own, unique version of GPT-3 that you can't get anywhere else. We can't patent GPT-3 in this case because it's research published, but our trade secret is our defensible moat, our data. Punctuation is important sometimes, but we've trained GPT-3 now that because people have been using no punctuation sometimes, so it sometimes now understands it doesn't matter. But in cases like if you have multiple phrases, you might want to use punctuation to be more explicit so that it doesn't get confused. It tries to link, its own words sometimes, so sometimes it gets confused. So if you run into trouble, it's usually better to be more explicit. Yeah. Yeah, it's like having your own software developer. Yeah, you can click into the no code menu and it'll show you. Yeah, you can say get links from Google Sheets and download them. That's a pretty easy thing we could do. I need image addresses. Oh, I guess logo. That should be an image, right? Yeah. Or maybe icon.png. Okay. Let's try this. Okay, so I'm just gonna, this is a Google Sheet with some images. This is a quick one actually, so I figured I could do it pretty quickly. Let's go to File, New, GPT-3 Code Generator. Get links from Google Sheets, download them. Cool, okay. Then CSV. And cool. You see how it's downloading the images here? That was the icon URL that I got earlier, but yeah, that was a very quick example of GPT-3, what it can do. Try this at home actually. Get links from Google Sheets and download them. And then if in another Google Sheet you just put some links here, they can be images or whatever. All you need to do is go File, Publish to Web. Make sure this is the CSV URL, those it won't work. Copy this. And this is the sentence that I used to generate the code. So get links from Google Sheets and download them. That's it. That was a pretty cool one. I like that. Thanks for asking that one. Where's the... Is this the event still? Yeah, okay. Okay, I think we're about done. We're going to go to the air meet soon. Hold on, let me just publish this question. The Google Sheet. Oh, come to office hours if you have trouble. Yeah, cool. Oh, we have a cheat code for Zillow already. I would check out this cheat code rental scraper. And if you have trouble with anything, any step, you can. I'm going to head over to the air meet tables. We're going to have office hours. Damien, if you have time too, you can hang out there as well. But check out this video. This scrapes rentals on any search in Zillow. And you can bring it to office hours too if you need any custom thing as well. Okay. Oh, what will be possible? Yeah, so Firebase is this really cool tool. I was a big fan of them since before they got bought by Google, but it lets you build apps without coding a backend yourself. And one of the best feature is this thing called a real-time database. Let's see. Let me just find. So it's like basically it's designed for web services, right? So for personal usage, it's basically free. Like you're not going to be using this much per day. 20K deletes 50. Not likely unless your own browser or IP would get banned or something. So, and so the idea is that allows you to, in your white label products, jump started for free and build a backend without having to go build it yourself. So you can store data, you can use it to queue data, you can use it to build real-time chat apps, for example. We use Firebase for the webhook triggers. So every time you trigger an event in webhooks, it goes to Firebase. And we're going to actually let users set up their own version of this soon as well. So this kind of lets you save data in the cloud and build real-time applications that... So webhook triggers instantly open a new browser in your tab, and the reason that works is because it's asynchronously linked to a Firebase. So yeah, I'm really excited about this. It'll basically enable your white label applications to get back-end features like saving data, account persistence, things like that, real-time chat very easily. And we're going to train GPT-3 to understand Firebase API as well. So you can say things like store this to Firebase or check Firebase and then run this script. And that'll be pretty cool as well. Because we can train GPT-3 any API. I'm really excited about that phase of our development when we're no longer building infrastructure and we're mostly training GPT-3. Because every new API that we get, we can train GPT-3 to actually implement it for you. So you could say like, use the Salesforce API to automate adding like a custom object, or I don't know, use the Gmail API to send an email, or use the Google Docs API, you know, and then it would know because we've trained all these API products into GPT-3. Okay, I think that's enough. Cool. Oh yeah, you can. Yes, yeah. So like I did user slash in that example, you can say the actual inner text of the links. So instead of the link href, you could say collect all the links on the page that include user slash and inner text that includes I don't know, the name Dan or something. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, you can. Yeah. All right, guys. I think that's enough questions. We did well. That was a good class. Thank you, guys. I think we didn't lose as many people, but maybe switching back and forth is still annoying. So, or it's fine to switch back and forth, but it's annoying to have like half the screen taken up. So leave me feedback what you think we should do next time. We'll make a poll. If we should use maybe YouTube next time, and how we should design the chat and things like that. All right, I'm going to head out to the Air Meet and start a table. You can meet me. Let me post the link if you need any help with any steps, things like that. Cool. Thank you, guys.